Okay, welcome. Let's take a look at the stock market technical analysis, try to figure out some trade ideas for next week. This week's starting to wind down. Real quick, guys, I'll be away from my desk tomorrow. I will not be able to get a video out, so just want to highlight that. All right, starting off with triple Qs. Tech sector. Obviously, tech sector I think is in highlight right now because you have the major tech earnings. We had Meta report earnings yesterday. And we've already cleared Google and Microsoft and Tesla. So next up, we still have Amazon, we have Apple, and then obviously some of the semiconductors as well. But Apple and Amazon are kind of the two big ones remaining. And then we'll have all the major tech stocks out of the way. So on triple Qs, gap up today, obviously. This is very similar to what I was talking about, how I thought maybe we could gap up and then sell off. And that's basically what's kind of happening. It's not really selling off, but we're not going up. We just kind of gapped up, and the day's young, so we'll see how, if they continue to sell into it. No real technical change right now. We still have negative divergence. We're not really making a new divergent high. It's just kind of gapping up and still trading within this range. So in general, I don't see much. I'm still anticipating us to make a move lower in the futures. But, the triple Qs is kind of a sum of its parts, which is going to be Meta and some of these tech stocks that just reported. So on Meta, you'll see here, this is exactly, I laid out two scenarios, okay? I said, scenario one in Meta, because given the bullish or the bearish rising wedge, the big negative divergence on the momentum, the PPO and the RSI, but we were right here and we broke that wedge. We triggered a sell signal right ahead of earnings, and that kind of told me that, okay, they could gap this thing up into resistance and then sell it off. So they did gap it up right here. The wedge, you could adjust the wedge slightly. I kind of have it here. It's anywhere from right there to there. That's basically how I have the wedge. Gapped up, and then sure enough, the sellers are there. So let's see how the day closes. Do the buyers step back in right here, or do the sellers continue to push this thing lower? Again, I'm viewing this, and I think we will go lower. I'm viewing this as a break and a sell signal and a back test with more selling to come and more downside. Ultimately, working our way lower on Meta in the future. So as I pointed out to the private member group this morning, I said, hey, it's as we gapped up into this resistance level, I said that's an objective area to go short or do an add-on to your short right up in here. And so far, if you took that, you would be profitable, roughly 2-3% already on a short. And so this thing's behaving as I would expect. All right. The fact that it gapped up and they're selling it, the sellers are showing up. So I'm anticipating that to continue and triple Qs to kind of follow. And then stocks like Tesla. Let me get the right symbols in there. Tesla, you can see here, we just hit that major resistance. Obviously, this is your bear market downtrend line starting. This is basically Tesla's been trading, making lower lows and lower highs. It did trade up into that resistance, but it was rejected, gapping down, and so far rejected. So I'm looking for lower prices. All right, gap fill down here at 235, and then potential trend line down about 227. That's kind of the next target, next level of support. I'm looking for that to take place in. Okay, let's look at the 10-year Treasury yields, interest rates. This is important because obviously the Fed came out yesterday with the 25 basis point hike. That was expected. The market had already really priced that in. And so really we just have to determine what does the market want to do next. And you can see here the interest rates are rising. All right, nothing crazy, but we're up 3% here on the TNX. Decent sized move in a single day. The bigger picture is technically the uptrend is still intact. All right, you can see there's support. There's a couple more tags of support there. There's another one here, and we are continuing to rise. Interest rates continuing to rise should continue to be bearish for the markets and tech stocks especially. So we'll continue to watch that to see if there's any change in the technicals. The trend is still up in interest rates. And that's kind of a divergence from tech. You've got interest rates rising, trending higher. and tech is still trending higher. But going back to triple Qs, you still have an uptrend in tech. So something's going to correct. I believe tech is going to be selling off. All right, that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm positioned for that right now. So you can see triple Q is starting to sell off. So again, I'm thinking that they'll continue to sell that down, and oil continuing to rise up 1.5%, a little over that today. So oil continues to trend higher. This is going to be inflationary. I think there's a couple people on YouTube who are kind of repeating this mantra, and I'm on that side of the trade as well. I do believe that these commodities rising will continue to put inflationary pressures on the Fed, where they'll have to continue to talk hawkish and keep their hawkish rhetoric. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap it up there. There's not too much more to go through, so we'll see how today closes. See if if we continue to sell off, and that's going to be kind of a tell potentially on where the market's heading in the near future. So I'll get this out there, and I will catch you guys on Monday, really. All right, bye.